As of this morning, what is real and what is not real is my business.
For those who may not know, what exactly does a production designer do?
Okay, so the production designer really becomes a second set of eyes for the director, helping him guide the visual look of the film. This would involve locations, hair and makeup, costume, the set dressing, the props that are used, and the general color palette and look of the film.
Well, in that case, roll camera.
What do you think is the most important skill for a production designer to have?
To draw. To be able to draw and communicate. Because when all else fails, you can get out a piece of paper and jot down an idea that everyone can understand. And you can communicate an idea with a drawing 1,000 times quicker than you can using words. We usually start with getting together at the location where the story is set. So for example, with Spencer, we met in the UK and we spent a lot of time in Norfolk, where Diana would have spent her Christmas at Sandringham. And in the case of Maria, we met in Paris and we went to her apartment, we went to all the places that she loved to hang out, to sort of just soak in the atmosphere of that character. And then after that, we usually follow that with a huge period of research, where we'll get every single book, we'll scour obviously the internet, speak to people, go to museums, talk to people who are running foundations, and gather this huge portfolio of information about the person. And usually it's only at that point where I feel, I suppose, qualified enough to start putting pencil to paper. Every project is a dream. I've always wanted to be a production designer. It's all I'll ever do on this planet. And so everything's just a joy to me and exciting. If it's something I don't know anything about, and of course opera was one of those things, I knew nothing about it, I'll throw myself in at the deep end and just listen to nothing but opera music and just immerse myself in those worlds. And if it's a script like Inception or an Indiana Jones or Spielberg, obviously I'll do my research there as well and try to understand everything I can about that person. At the end of the day, I think it's my job to channel what I think the director is trying to express visually, and I'd like to say that I'm channeling their mind through my hand when I'm designing these sets, you know?
The piano is better near the other window.
Better for what, ma'am?
Better for my purposes.
There's this sort of the public persona of Maria as this sort of slightly aloof, difficult lady who was extremely talented, and I think Pablo wanted to show that there was a much more fragile and broken personality that needed to be talked about. And we tried to express that through the sets, you know, when she's sitting in front of her mirror and you see all those statues behind her in the reflection, they're all broken, you know, they're all cracked and sad, and it's supposed to help enhance the mood of the scene.
How much is it that you're, you know, in taking it and interpreting it versus you're actually looking at real moments from her life and trying to replicate?
Right. Well, a lot of people ask me about the bed. They say, what's with that crazy bed? The bed is a single Polaroid taken by her maid, Bruna, just a fun, candid shot of Maria in bed, and it's a very grandiose bed. Obviously, we couldn't get a hold of that bed, but I took that idea and expanded on it and enhanced it and made it a larger-than-life representation of what Maria really had, because in a way her life was an opera. And so that shot in the film where Pablo, who's operating at that moment, brings that camera around the door to reveal Maria in bed in that first shot, I needed that to feel like an opera stage, which is why the design ended up the way it was.
There is no life away from the stage. The stage is in my mind.